Hey, Tribe Builders, Tanya Rooney here. I am super excited to have my guest today. She is, I'm gonna call her the bee's knees. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. I think it's a good thing. So I met this gal, wow, I think like 4 or 5 years ago at this point at an in-person event for a coaching group that we were both kind of part of. I think we were both in group coaching or something at that time. And fast forward to today, and we hang out maybe once or twice a year. We talk about real estate stuff. We have like a group of friends that we all get to hang with. And it just so happens I just saw Amanda a few days ago. So, yeah, she's a pretty badass investor. I love getting to hear the kind of stuff that she's up to. So, I'm excited for her to tell you a little bit about it today and then just kind of dig into some cool stuff. So, without further ado, Amanda Cruz, hi.
Hey Tanya, what's up?
It feels like I'm really happy that we just met up for a couple of days because it's like we didn't have to catch up on the beginning of this call like I usually do.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. That's awesome. We just got back from Wisconsin. You always are just such light and like fresh air at every instance, and you brought that this weekend, which is just awesome. I also remember the first time we met. I very specifically remember one, you used fuck like 100,000 times, but besides that, everybody was crying. This is a weird conference, and everybody was crying, and you were crying, and you stood up, and you're like, I just do whatever you fucking want. Like, if you just want to fucking be with your kids, then just do it now. Why is this so hard for all of you? And I was like, yeah, there you go, Tanya, I get it.
I love that. Man, I need to start having that in the beginning of the podcast. Like, what do you remember about me? I remember exactly what you're talking about. That was a really intense conference that we met at. Like, there's not very many events that you go to and literally everybody cries or feels really a lot of emotion.
Can't think of any other one, just the one where I met you.
Literally never ever done that before. Ever. I don't even think I've ever done that since. So yeah, you're right. It was
For
kind of
real.
intense. Oh my God. Okay. Tell my friends here, like what do you got going on? What are you really good at?
Commercial real estate. I'm pretty good at that. Mobile home parks mostly. We being me and my husband, Jonathan, we started as single family investors, like standard jobs, climb the corporate ladder, get a degree. I got a freaking master's degree. Silly. I never used that thing, right? But that's what my parents did. And so that's what we did. And then around 2017, I was like, hey, wouldn't it be so cool if we could do our own thing? And it took us a while to get going with that, but after we had our first baby, we did. We just started buying some single families, Burr type stuff for anybody who's into real estate. And then we moved on to manufactured homes and eventually mobile home parks and sort of never looked back. So now we mostly specialize in mobile home parks and manufactured home builds on their own land and stuff like that. Mostly all manufactured and a little bit of commercial stuff.
Super awesome. Like I'm gonna try really hard to ask you some questions because I know like all of the background of this. But tell me what it looked like. So you said 2017. So let's just say even 5 years ago, around 2020 or even 2019. So 5 or 6 years ago, what did it feel like when you started? Like, do you think I'm kind of trying to ask about what you are today versus what you were and how astounding it is to make the jump in the mindset between those two things?
Funny enough, I remember very clearly. I mean, we had been investing for a couple of years doing single family stuff, and I heard of somebody doing commercial real estate, and I just remember thinking, wow, that was so not my identity. Like, it never could be me, it never would be me. That was definitely what other people did, which was cool. Great for them. That's so cool, but not something that I associated with myself. Once we got into doing manufactured homes, we did a handful of individual deals like that and really got comfortable with it and started looking for parks. And we bought our first park, funny enough, in April of 2020. So obviously the landscape is like COVID, everything is shut down. We also had our second baby in March of 2020. So we had like a 3-week old, a 3-year old, and COVID. And we had taken money, because if you remember back in 2020, you could take some money out of your retirement accounts without paying the penalty. It was this funny COVID thing. And we did that. So we took, I think you could each take 50 or something like that. So we took like 100,000 out of our existing retirement accounts to buy this mobile home park. And it was 50 lots, and we did it. And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. But I also knew I'd run the numbers 1,000 times, and I knew we were going to be good. I knew, like, worst case scenario, half the residents couldn't pay. We could still pay the bank, right? Like, I knew that. And I knew we were in our mid 30s and we could start again. And we weren't bringing on passive investors. So we did it and we jumped in, and it went really, really well. So we just kind of kept buying them. And now we have about 250 lots. And it's funny because no matter where you are in life, the bar is moving of what you think you are and what you compare yourself to. So when I was, buying my first duplex in 2018, a commercial real estate investor was somebody else. We had a property. And now, we have 250 spaces, and I compare myself to people who have a couple thousand. And I'm like, oh, I'd really like to be like that. Like, I see how it's in the realm, but we're not there. But then you have people who have like, a billion in real estate. And that's like, I'd never actually want to be there. So like, it's still beyond what I compare myself to. So you just kind of keep growing in who you are, and you can tell by who you aspire to be like truly aspire to be like, not like, oh yeah, I'll never be like that person, but hey, like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it, kind of thing.
I love this because I know some of the conversations we had over the last weekend was you were kind of thinking like, I couldn't even imagine this amount of money being in my hands. And now that's a Tuesday or whatever the heck it is. Of just like things have just gotten bigger and your mindset it grows. Like that's a really good way to say the bar just kind of moves with you because your mindset grows with what you're capable of once you prove what you're capable of. It's almost like, okay, I've never bought another house. There's tons of people that will say, I've
Yeah.
never bought a house. And I'm just like, okay, I've bought a dozen or a dozen and a half houses. And, I wasn't anything special when it started, and I'm not all that different now, but you're capable of it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. And it's important, I think, to embrace where you are. Like, there was a time when we first were getting into manufactured homes. We would leave our house, go out, buy a mobile home, spend time marketing it, resell it, and make about, what, 2,500, 4 grand, something like that. And we were thrilled. We were making money with real estate, and I was so thrilled. Like, I would work really hard for that and be so proud of myself. And maybe this was a story I was telling the other day. Like, I'm I'm not going to leave my house and go across town to like go make $2,000 and come back, right? Because that's just a waste of time. I could be like doing better things. But there was a time when we were so happy to do that. And if that's where you are, fuck yeah, like you did it and you're there and you're making money in real estate, and that's freaking awesome to whoever's listening. And like you'll grow, right? You'll grow over time and your mindset will change, and the requirements you have for the deals you do will change. But wherever you are, you've come a long ways.
Yes, that is the story we were talking about. You're just like, it used to be such a big deal to make an extra $2,500, and that's when you still had your corporate job. And
Yeah.
now, what do you think? What's your leave the house for money now?
So it's funny. I think I was complaining to you the other day. I did this stupid deal where I'm going to make like 20 grand. And I was like, that is such a waste of time. Um, it's such a waste of time. It depends, Tanya. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. If I see a super easy flip and I'll probably make 20 to 40 grand, I'll probably still do it because I'm just a sucker for it. But I know it's more important to focus on our mobile home parks at this point, right? Because we're making minimum hundreds of thousands per deal. Mostly on our parks, we have runway to make 1 million plus on each one. So it is, when you think about it that way, really stupid to go do these $20,000 deals. But sometimes it's just fun and you just see the opportunity. It's right there and you're like, all right, fine, I'm going to do it.
And the reason that I was kind of prying about this is I'm just trying to point out that there was a time, honestly, not even that long ago, like less than 10 years ago, that you were just so excited about $2,000. And now you're like, yeah, if I'm not going to make 30 or $40,000, it's a waste of my time. And it is because you've realized what you're good at and what you should be spending your time on because you know, like you are somebody that I have known that if it doesn't give you an ROI, it better give you like something that really, really fulfills you. Otherwise, you're not doing it. Like, you don't waste your time on if I need to go to this conference, like, what am I going to get out of it? Am I going to find another mobile home park? Am I going to find somebody that's going to, help us, right? Like, money essentially, like not help you raise money. It's going to be like, can I find some investors, or what is the actual ROI for it? And I think it's really interesting because I don't necessarily, like, I go to things thinking I'm going to find somebody and I'm going to have a conversation that's going to change something because it just always happens. But then there's someone like you that's like, yeah, I know that I can make $1 million right here though if I just spend my time doing the thing that I know how to do, that I'm good at, and that I like doing.
There is a time and a place for that, though, right?
Mhm.
And especially when you're like, hey, again, you're like, hey, I don't really want to flip homes anymore, but I'm open to different things. Absolutely. Like going out and exploring and having those conversations is a high ROI when you're finding your path, right? And then like we've now been on a path for several years. I know that's the right path. So anything else is a distraction. So I do like going to conferences. I do need them to be good ones and worthwhile. Otherwise, I could have been home with my kids or working on our business. So kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also love just the how far you've come. Like, I mean, that's a really big difference, and it's a small amount of time to get to that place where you realize some of the levers that could make you money. Like, you don't have to work at a job every single, like, you don't have to work in a corporate setting, and you're just like, yeah, I need my time to be worth this. And that it's fun to see that you actually like what you do. I think you like buying mobile home parks.
I
Like,
do.
I
We
think you
love
like the
it.
chase.
For sure. For sure. I was actually like, before we got on this call, I'm like oddly prioritizing every single like city and county in the in the states that we go through on what we want to buy. And I actually love stuff like that. I'm such a data nerd.
I like that. Can you also say like what your business looks like? Who's on your team? What does that look like?
Yeah, Jonathan and I run it. He does the asset management side. He's the boots on the ground. He's going to our properties most often. He's speaking with our managers who are on site at each property. I do our underwriting, working with our investors. We have passive investors we bring in. So I work with them. We sort of split acquisitions on who's calling, who's trying to make new phone calls. We have a full time assistant. She's a virtual assistant. She helps with all the things, everything. I'm always giving her more stuff. We have a sales manager who's half time. She's in charge of basically marketing all the homes we have available for sale because we sell a lot of mobile homes. And then we have about 5 managers, park managers. They're all part time. They make however many, under $1,000 a month each of them. And I think that's it. Oh, we have like contractor stuff, bookkeeper,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah, totally. So you're and Jonathan is your husband. So you have a full-time business with your husband. You're with him pretty much all the time, like full time.
We are together a lot, but so funny enough, sometimes he comes and sits next to me in the office. Like today, he did that. He came and sat right next to me, and I was like, "Hey, What's up?" He's like, "I thought you might need me for something today." I'm like, "Yeah, probably later." Like I'm trying to focus. I have my Excel. I'm like trying to get ChatGPT to work on this thing. It's driving me bonkers. Like, no, no, I have to like focus. And he's like, "Okay, I'll see you later." I'm like, "Yeah, all right. So love you. I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you."
I think it's really interesting because sometimes I work with Matt in my business and sometimes I don't. He is like a person that needs, he doesn't need more hand holding, but he does. So whenever he does work in my business with me, I'm just like, what's going on? Like, what do you need? So it's always interesting to me to find people that full time work in their business together and are doing it relatively successfully. Does that feel correct for you guys?
Yeah, we love it. And it really is fun. I think it's fun to be successful together, right? It's fun to grow something together. We try to not talk about it all the time, but it is our number one hobby. It's our favorite thing, right? So we try, for the kids' sake, to not talk about mobile home parks at dinner and stuff.
Do you guys have like actual rules or boundaries, or how have you? I mean, I feel like boundaries kind of ebb and flow anyways, but do you guys have any set rules of like, this is what we do and what we don't do, or it's just a natural, we just try not to talk about it at dinner?
No, yeah, it's natural. It's natural. And I mean, it's just part of our life. So when we go away together, it comes up for sure, but we also don't talk about it the whole time. We have other things that we connect on, that we always have connected on before we ever built a business together, kids, all that stuff. So, yeah, we can't talk about business all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go into a couple of questions. I want to ask about what I call seemingly random connections, and it's about, a time that you met somebody in what felt like a really random thing. Like on an airplane, you actually talked to somebody, or maybe in line at the bank, and they actually played a meaningful role in your business or in your life. I don't care if it's just business. Do you got any cool stories like that?
Who, okay, if you're listening and you are into real estate, you may know who Bill Cook is. He is a creative financing, creative deal structuring guy down. He was always in Georgia, now he's in Florida. And he used to go around to all these RIAs and just share his story, share examples of creative deals. He came through Raleigh back in 2019 when we were just finding our way, just trying to figure out what in the world we were doing next. I'm still sending mailers to single family homes, and he always picks on somebody every time he's there. And I was like his perfect person to pick on, right? I'm younger than him. I'm a millennial. And so he's picking on me about being a millennial. And we connected. He came back through and I asked, hey, let me take you out to dinner. Like you and Kim, his wife, like, let me take you guys out to dinner. And when he came back through Raleigh, he was coming to speak for a day where he just mentioned to the whole group, if there was one deal structure he could do for the rest of his life, it would be Lonnie deals, which is a manufactured housing deal where you buy it, as is for a discount like you do for any other home, and then you sell it to whoever's going to live there and you carry the note, right? So you're just getting payments on it. And I just thought, okay, interesting. That's not our thing. We're doing single family homes, but we're in the middle of a renovation at that point. That was, or maybe fast forward 4 months, we're in the middle of a terrible single family home renovation. We're not good at single family home renovations, by the way. This is not our thing. It's freaking forever. This is like 3 months into a 6-week renovation. The contractor's like, oh, well, I'm busy, blah, blah, just, it's terrible. And I think to Jonathan, well, hey, remember Bill Cook said these Lonnie deals are his favorite structure. Why don't we just do that? And we did. And we did that one. And then we did more. And then we, have all these mobile home parks. And the only reason we did that is because Bill Cook happened to pick on me for being his token millennial at that conference, which still to this day, if you ask anybody who his favorite millennial is, he'll say, oh, Amanda Cruz. Because that's how I would call and introduce myself to him. Every time I would call him after that, I'd say, hey, it's Amanda Cruz, your favorite millennial. And now we've known each other for 6 years. And I love him dearly. But had I not gone to that one random conference I took a day off of work to go to, then we would have never gotten into mobile home parks.
Yeah, and now it's something you speak on stages about.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy,
mean,
isn't it? Like you
really,
never know how, if you're looking for a thing, like you were saying earlier, like going to conferences, you never know where the inspiration's going to come from.
yeah, I think that's really awesome. And I know you kind of shared a little bit about that this weekend. And I find that to be so interesting because real estate is such a huge industry. I mean, there's 50 states, there's a whole entire globe, but if you're just concentrating even on the 48 that are here on land or on this portion of land connected, there are so many people involved, but then there's so many small world things. Like I know a handful of people that talk about Bill Cook a lot, and we just get smaller and smaller, and the impact one person can have, like, I mean, the impact that one real estate person made on me and my, like, the reason I got into short-term rentals is literally because of one person and a few words that he said in a text message, and it changed the trajectory of what I was doing from disliking this portion of real estate to really, really loving this portion of real estate. So I I love that. You never know who the heck it's going to be either. So it's
You never know. And Bill's honestly the reason that I go out and share more about what we do. Because he's always said, like, Bill, I owe you so much. Like, how can I pay you back? And that's what he says. So if you feel like somebody has really impacted your life, sharing it is really how you can pay it forward. As Bill shared, and that helped me tremendously and changed our lives. And that's what he says. Like, go out and just share and help people who are a couple levels behind where you are.
yeah, it's so awesome and beautiful, and everything about that makes me go, yeah, go for Bill. It's so cool. Okay, so now going over to tell me about a time that you guys were in something gross. Like it felt like the end of the world, felt like a challenge, and you like morphed it into an opportunity that has changed the trajectory of your business or whatever the heck it is. Like you had to figure out a new mindset, whatever it is.
When you said gross, I was like, oh shit, Tanya, we have all the stories of gross. That's an easy one. Mindset gross, that's way harder. God. Um, all right, so let's see. We bought this one park in November of 2022. We got it for really, really cheap. But it was different than the parks we had bought before that. I think this was our fourth park. And it was different because it had homes that were owned by the park. And it was in an area that I didn't love. But manufacturing was, in theory, coming back to the States. This was an area that had a lot of opportunity for that. There was a speedway there. It was coming back. So, like, there were positive signs. So, and we were getting it for cheap. So we bought the park. And it was our first park, let me say that again, where the park owned some of the homes. And the guy didn't want us to walk through the homes because he didn't want to bother his tenants, okay? And we usually would want to do that, but I knew we were getting them for free. We were buying this entire park for so cheap. So I was like, okay, fine, no big deal. We just won't walk through them. And then we closed on the park. All hell broke loose. Like 3 weeks later, we had this crazy cold snap in North Carolina. All of Christmas 2022, the entire weekend, it got down to like 14 and sustained it. Well, this slumlord hadn't sealed any of the water pipes weren't insulated. Left and right, Jonathan's getting calls. We had no manager at the time. It'd been 3 weeks. We had no manager. He's getting calls all of Christmas weekend. Everybody doesn't have water. Their water lines have busted. We're having to go in these homes. They're disgusting. We realize that some of these homes actually have to be torn down. They're so bad. We have to kick out tenants who really desperately want to stay because they have nowhere else to go. But we can't keep them in a home that's that bad. So we're having to evict them. We waited until spring. But, we're having to evict people left and right, tear down homes that were in such bad shape. And we had this 20-lot park that quickly became like a 13-lot park because we had to tear so many homes down. We're like, oh my God. And because the market is so bad, it's so hard. It's hard there. It's hard to infill. We brought in 2 new homes. We spent months and months trying to sell them. We couldn't sell them. We had to rent them out. We didn't want to rent them out, but we had to. And thing after thing just went horribly wrong because of the market and how bad the conditions of the park were. I mean, when you say like blood, sweat, and tears, this is the only park I've ever literally cried over. It's like, we're a year in, we're still not making any money. How are we still not making money on this crappy park? And it was just a really tough spot. Honestly, I wish I could say like, oh, that park is just killing it now. It's not. It's not that great. It makes us a couple grand a month. It's really not that exciting. And it's just one of those things where you have to learn your lessons. And no, I'm thankful for that park. Truly, truly, truly thankful. because there are things that happen in that park lessons that we wouldn't have learned had we not bought it and we invest differently. Thank God we got it for so, so cheap. Like, we're not going to lose money on it or anything, but the time was absolutely not worth what we will ever make on that park, but the lessons were. And you just have to take what you get and apply it for the future in some cases.
You guys still rent out homes?
Yeah, those two. We brought in brand new homes. They were too nice. We couldn't sell them off. We still rent them out to this day. Good God.
But in general, you guys don't rent a lot of homes out.
We don't like to.
You just rent the lots. You want to rent the lots, and
yeah, that's right. That's right. And you talk about Lonnie deals. Funny enough, some people love to just be Lonnie dealers because you sell off a home on a payment, right? People pay you $900 a month for 4 years, and then in theory they own their home. So often they give the home back, and then you do it again. You sell it again, right? And so some people see this as like a forever income stream. It's great. No, it's not great when your big thing is parks. You just want the homes gone. You don't want the headache of it. And in this park, I swear to God, Tanya, like we have sold and resold homes over and over and over. It's like a nightmare that will not end. People just won't buy them. I'm like, you only have 2 years. It's only $800 a month. You can do it. And still, give it back. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Do you guys, when they give them back, you guys have to kind of go in and flip them?
No, hell no. Nope. No. We just sell them. We might spend a little bit of money if necessary, but I would much rather sell it as a fixer-upper for cheaper. We got these homes for free. I don't want anything to do with them. Now, if the homes are nicer, we absolutely do, put in a few extra thousand, get it like ready and sell it for $25,000, $30,000, $35,000. Yes. But in the case of this slumlord community, no. Like, oh, it's terrible.
Why don't you guys if this is your biggest headache one, and you've already learned all the lessons, is there any reason you continue to hang on to it?
We still haven't sold off all the homes, Tanya. Isn't that great? We still haven't sold them all off. So like this is still a work in progress. Like every time we think, yes, that was the last home to sell off, we get another one back. And so what that means in the grand scheme of things is, let's say even in this crappy area, each paying lot that you have will end up selling for $32,000 per lot. Well, I don't want to sell it without a lot right there. So we said, hey, let's like get all the lots that are there paying, and then we'll sell it. But we just keep getting homes back. We have one more right now that we just like got back 2 months ago and we're trying to sell. So at some point we will sell this ridiculous park and be done with it, but not yet.
So really the only reason you don't sell that is because you guys still own things, and the best way to get the highest cap rate or the highest amount of money is to have, all 20 on lot rent only and homes owned. That's the easiest way to get the most amount of money out of your, like, is there a really big
you want the lowest
in,
cap rate, highest amount.
What if it was, what if 17 of them are owned and 3 of them are not? How big of a hit would you have to take?
Maybe not too much. Maybe it would just be 15, 20 grand. But at this point, it's like, just freaking do it. Like, it's right there. It's not like, in theory, it's not hard. You're right. Maybe I should just give up if I won't even do anything else for $20,000.
Literally just asking you and questioning, like, well, if it's like 100,000, yeah, absolutely. But if it's your biggest, like, it's kind of the 80-20 rule, right? It's
to be fair, it's not our biggest headache anymore. It used to be. Oh. It used to be. But now we have like a salesperson who took over those and other things. And for a while, like this park was, I literally took our kids there and was picking up garbage because one, we like to go there. We like to pick up garbage when we are at our parks, and there was a lot of freaking garbage there. So I was like, let's go, kids. But it was a lot. It's not so much anymore, but it was.
It's just about not throwing in the towel until you actually finish out the whole entire process, and then you'll get rid of it.
Yeah, and it's also not the best environment to sell right now, right? Interest rates are probably on the verge of coming down, so it's not that big of a headache. If we can hold on to it for one more year, then we'll probably get a decent amount more than we would today, if nothing else changed, other than I predict cap rates are going to go down because interest rates are probably going to go down. So may as well.
Yeah, this is just a land, like I don't know very much about mobile home parks and this sort of investing. So it's really interesting to ask some of the questions and be like, huh, okay. Um, so you kind of talked about Bill a little bit, and I want to kind of go back to like just kind of talking about who's in your corner and who like helps. So, do you have people in your business, or I mean, like, I'm gonna call them peers because it's easier because they're not in your business, but they kind of do a similar business. But what do you do when when something goes really, really haywire, besides talking to Jonathan and doing that? Like, who is your group of humans and how did you find them?
Good question. It depends on what it is, really. Like, I casually know a lot of other investors just over the years through lots of conferences. I'm in a commercial real estate mastermind, and that's actually led by Ash Patel, who it's called Invest Beyond Multifamily. And then he brought me in as his co host on the Best Ever CRE show podcast, which is a huge podcast. So I run that with him. I meet a lot of people doing that. So I have a lot of investors I've met over the years at conferences through the podcast. So if I have something specific, I can reach out to specific people if it's in the mobile home park space, for example, or with our commercial mastermind. That group is really amazing. We have, accountability partners in it. We really just, like our group does when we meet, Tanya, right? We just push each other to do better because we all know there are things that we're working on. There are things we sort of know the answers to, but we haven't decided to pull the trigger on them yet. And when you bring that to a group that of really smart individuals who really want you to succeed, it's really powerful, what can come out of it. And so, different types of entrepreneur groups like that have been insanely helpful because you can really feel like they want the best for you. They're not competing with you. They just want the best for you.
No, that's totally cool. I love that, and I completely agree. And I mean, you can find these people anywhere. It's just whether or not you rely on them.
That's so true. But I will say what really, really, really enables you to connect with people is being in vulnerable situations and having raw conversations because you're not like at conferences where you're just saying hi to 1,000 different people, but it's casual. Yes, if you have a problem, you can probably contact that one person about something specific. But if you want to have a really meaningful connection with somebody, that's not going to be how you do it. You're going to have to go deeper over time through hard conversations, sharing things, asking, good questions and just building a relationship.
So I obviously agree because I love groups of people, but it's fun to listen to other people's perspective on what they would get out of it. So, okay, can you tell me about some of the best advice you've ever gotten from somebody that's like, we don't get the best advice from our family. Like I call this like Aunt Karen kind of situation. What's a piece of advice you've gotten from somebody in your industry and it just really stuck with you?
Yeah, funny enough, everybody who was like family and friends when we got in mobile home parks were like, isn't that risky? Like, yeah, it is.
I love that comment.
Isn't that risky? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, this is so cliche. I almost hate to use it, but there's a reason people say it. Don't buy real estate in the wrong location because you can't change the location. And we've made the mistake of doing that, and we're freaking paying for it still because it's a pain. And everything moves slower in locations that are not good. And what I mean by not good is population is not growing. Where the population is not growing, everything is harder. It's harder to make money. It's harder to sell. It's harder to rent with quality tenants. Everything is harder when you're not in the right location. And for whatever reason, when people are in real estate, and I get the reason because the numbers look better, right? You're trying to find a deal, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, this one actually pencils. Look, I can actually make money on it. it's a 10 cap deal. This is so great. Or you're buying in a D class neighborhood. You're like, look, I got the 1% rule. I got the 1.5% rule. Run, just run, because those are not good. They're bad. There's a reason. There's a reason that they're so good because nobody else wants them.
Hmm.
And that makes everything else harder about the property.
That's a really good point. That like the key to a good market is population growth. Because man, I've been doing enough real estate stuff for a long time, but I only do it in pretty populated areas. Like, I mean, cities that I'm already comfortable in. And that's a really good indicator of what's going on. Because you're right. You're not going to all of a sudden convince all kinds of people to move there unless all of a sudden Amazon like builds like a huge building and like, is going to bring jobs to that market.
Yep,
And the likelihood's really low that that's going to happen. They usually still go to bigger places that already have a population. So
that's right.
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I think we're gonna start wrapping it up. And one of the things I like to end with is what would you say to someone doing it alone? Like if someone's listening right now and they're building a business and they feel like they're in a vacuum without support, without peers, what would you tell them about like how to find a tribe and about the impact it could make on them to have those kinds of people?
Yeah, okay. So if you're doing it alone, you're just never going to grow, honestly, as much as you could, because there are people out there who are doing the same or similar things as you, who are not your competitors, though, who you can learn so much from. And there are things that you can share and help others, and the ways that your eyes can be opened and your business can grow by implementing things that other people are doing you never thought about. There's just so much opportunity. So get out, go find other entrepreneurs, other real estate investors, whatever you're trying to do, go find others. They don't have to be in your same area, right? Sometimes it's better if they're not, because then people are willing to share more openly because you're not competitors. And yeah, don't do it alone.
I love that. And you're totally right about the competitors thing. Like some people just, if you don't want to, have somebody in your direct market, there's just, with the internet, there's just so many ways to find people now.
Yeah, you're
You can
right.
talk about, like, you can talk to the same or the person that's your same profile, just like, in a different state and not
Yeah.
compete.
And a lot of entrepreneurs, honestly, like to connect with others throughout the country because it is hard to find in your local neighborhood. I don't have any moms who are business owners who I want to shoot business ideas off of in my neighborhood, right? We talk about
Mhm.
very different things. So you kind of have to go out and find the people who are like you because they are out there.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Amanda, this was really great. If somebody wants to reach out to you, if they want to listen to a podcast, if they, want to find out more about you, where would they go?
Yeah, my website is voyageinvesting.com. You can hop on our investor circle. It'll show you all the passive investment opportunities that we have. I'm a co host of the Best Ever CRE show every Wednesday, Best Ever CRE show. Um, it's all about beyond multifamily, not apartment investing. So check it out.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again, Amanda, for the time today. This was fantastic. And anybody that's listening, if you liked this episode, give us a rating, 5 stars. If you're going to give us less than 5 stars, please just do something else with your day. And if this resonated with you and you think it would resonate with one of your friends, send it to them as well. So thanks, Amanda.
Love you, Tanya. Thank you.
Bye.